We're talking inventory at Auburn today. The transfer portal is closed. It's time to take inventory on what your team has or doesn't have. Let's bring on coaching insider Jesse Simonton. Jesse, now that the spring is over and Hugh Freeze has thoroughly reviewed his QB room, do you think that Hugh thinks he needs to find a quarterback in the transfer portal?
Hugh is quite open to the fact that he thinks he does need another QB in this room for the Auburn Tigers. He was optimistic, even hopeful perhaps, when he took the job this spring, that a guy like Robbie Ashford, who got his feet wet a year ago, but the growth and development that Hugh was hoping to see never really materialized. And that's why I think Auburn has been pretty open by the fact that we want another quarterback in this room ASAP.
So then who are the best available options right now for Auburn?
Well, that's the problem. The Tigers have struck out on the guys that they initially circled, during the first transfer portal window. They kicked the tires on Grayson McCall. Now, there was some background stuff there that made that not work out, but they then went after Devin Leary. Devin Leary opted to go to Kentucky. They went after Spencer Sanders. Spencer Sanders said, no thanks, I'm going to go to this crowded room at Ole Miss and battle for that job. So as we sit here in the second transfer portal window, there are not a lot of great options. Hugh has been open to the fact that he is being selective. He's not just going to take a guy, but just this week, two guys that, they may be Jags. They may be just another guy. Well, Auburn doesn't have that right now. So Casey Thompson from Nebraska enters the portal. Peyton Thorne from Michigan State. Both of those guys would be upgrades compared to what is already on Auburn's roster at the QB position.
Now, why would one of these QBs in the portal want to choose Auburn to go take over that offense? What's attractive at Auburn?
Well, you're getting to play in the SEC. I mean, I think that's not nothing, especially for both of these guys looking to improve their potential, professional draft stock, whether that is, to be a draftable NFL quarterback or, the like, but perhaps, Peyton Thorne or one of these guys is maybe more XFL bound, but it will certainly help their stock if you get to go to the SEC and find some success. Auburn also has really built around the quarterback position, I think, this spring in a nice way. Hugh has been really aggressive in the transfer portal. They've really improved that offensive line. That was a major weakness for this team a year ago. I think it's going to be one of their better strengths. The running game. They got three really good running backs. Jarquez Hunter's really good. But I think Beatty, the transfer they got from USF, is maybe one of the more underrated running backs in the country. Ran for 1,200 yards on a really bad team a year ago. So they have three tailbacks who average over 6 yards a carry with an improved offensive line. The receiver room is a concern. They're still trying to address that position. But I think the pieces around the quarterback are there for the quarterback, whether it is Casey Thompson or Peyton Thorne potentially, to be successful.
All right, so last week, Hugh Freeze was at a booster event, and he said about taking a QB transfer, he would if, quote, it's the right one. Do you think that the two guys that you mentioned, either of the two, would be the right one for Auburn?
Well, they've already tipped their hand on that, and I think that's unequivocally yes. Casey Thompson visited the Plains on Sunday, so that was one of the first chances he, would have gotten to go meet with the coaching staff, see Auburn's facilities, and apparently there's, a visit in the works for Peyton Thorne. And so which one Auburn chooses, I'm not really sure. You can kind of break down the strengths and weaknesses of both those guys, but to me, they both would be an immediate upgrade and take a Tigers team to a greater ceiling, perhaps raising not only the team's floor, but certainly the team's ceiling, I think, in 2023.
How critical is getting a transfer QB to Auburn's 2023 season?
I think it is critical, Josh. I mean, they struck out. Again, Hugh has been open. He has not hid the fact that he needs another arm in that room. And so right now, I would say Auburn is maybe a fringe bowl team. They obviously play one of the toughest schedules in the country every year because they have Alabama and Georgia on the slate, plus the rest of the SEC West. And so it's a tough schedule. So I think this is a potentially 6-6 team that if you get a guy like Peyton Thorne or a guy like Casey Thompson, both of them have thrown for 19 touchdowns or more the last two seasons. That's something an Auburn quarterback hadn't done since Jared Stidham in 2018. I mean, I think suddenly you're looking at a team that could go from 6-6 maybe to maybe 8 wins and kind of being a frisky competitor.
All right. Well, Jesse, you said it best. Hugh Freeze has a critical decision to make, and I know Auburn fans are hanging on every word when it comes to transfer quarterback options. Thanks for stopping by Coach's Corner today to talk a little Auburn quarterback room.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me, and remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.